Yes, like I told us when we started, this morning we'll be looking at the vaccination exercise or the outbreak response against the circulating vaccine-derived polio vaccination that will be going on in Anambra, that will be starting today in Anambra, and what the Anambra state government will be doing to ensure it nips in the bud this unfortunate this victory already won against the polio virus. All right, with me this morning is Dr. Chioma Ezenyimolo. She'll be talking to us on what we need to know about this outbreak response 1 that will be starting across Anambra State today. Good morning and welcome to the studio.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Good morning, viewers.
All right, let's begin by asking, what is this CVDPV, that is the circulating vaccine-derived polio virus that the Anambra State government will be starting its outbreak OBR1 against today? Okay,
so the circulating vaccine-derived polio virus is that polio infection derived from the vaccine as against the wild polio virus as we know it. If you can recall, Nigeria has been certified polio-free. That means we no longer have the wild polio virus. But now we have the circulating vaccine-derived polio infection. And as the name suggests, it comes from the vaccine. So we don't have it in Anambra State, but about 13 states in the country have it. So we want to protect our kids. So that is why we are rolling out this OBR called Outbreak Response.
Okay.
So this is the first one, OBR1.
Okay. For the year?
We are going to have another one 4 to 6 weeks later.
Okay.
That will be tagged OBR2.
Okay. All right, if you're just joining us, this is still the weekend show and we're looking at how to sustain the victory against wild polio virus. Like she told us, already Nigeria have been declared wild polio virus free, but this is a sustainable act by government in Nigeria to continue the intervention against polio and polio virus in the state and in the country in general. She just explained to us that this CVPDV is not existent in Anambra. We'll be joined again by another person in the studio, and together we'll begin to look at how this exercise will happen and who should be part of the exercise. Join us.
Great news for Anambra Broadcasting Service ABS audience. You can now watch ABS television through any of these ways.
Buy a terrestrial antenna and connect to your television. Search ABS Channel 24 Oka or ABS Channel 27 Onitsha. Install StarTimes cable decoder and search ABS Channel 113. Install Metro Digital cable decoder and search ABS Channel 29.
Watch ABS TV on your smart TV or smartphone by downloading Anambra Broadcasting Service app on Google Play Store. Also watch via ABS Facebook page at ABS Radio Television and ABS YouTube page at ABS Television Oka.
ABS TV is now also on satellite. You can watch us from anywhere in Nigeria and other African countries. Simply install our TV decoder brand and tune to channel 315 or install any free-to-air satellite decoder and search for ABS TV.
Whichever option you choose, stay abreast of breaking news, documentaries, children's shows, talk shows, comedy, sports, movies, and lots more on your darling TV station.
For adverts and program sponsorship, contact 0803-388-8526 or 0806-883-9902. ABS, Heartbeat of the East.
ABS, Heartbeats of the East.
news for Anambra Broadcasting Service ABS audience. You can now watch ABS television through any of these ways.
Buy a terrestrial antenna and connect to your television. Search ABS Channel 24 Oka or ABS Channel 27 Onitsha. Install StarTimes cable decoder and search ABS Channel 113. Install Metro Digital cable decoder and search ABS.
Yes, if you're just joining us this morning, it's still the weekend show, and we are looking at sustaining the fight against, or sustaining the victory against the wild polio virus. And this morning I have with me the Executive Secretary, Anambra Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Anambra State Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Chioma Ezenyemlu, here with us in the studio. Good morning and welcome again, ma'am.
Thank you.
And also we've been joined by the State Health Educator, Anambra State Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Mrs. Uju Onwebuzina. Good morning and welcome to the studio.
David.
All right, let's continue with the discussion. Doc, I was asking what this exercise is about. Tell us why it is very important that every Anambra whose child is qualified to be part of this exercise becomes part of it.
Thank you very much. So in the fight against polio, you will recall that in the past 15 years, Anambra State has remained polio-free. And this is because of the stringent polio eradication exercises we carry out. And we do this regularly. We normally have the NIPDs, National Immunization Plus Days, twice a year. And we also do our MNCH Week, Maternal, Newborn and Child Health Week. All these ensure that children under the age of 5 get the polio vaccine regularly, because a child needs to have not less than 10 drops of polio in a lifetime, the polio vaccine. And this has really helped us, of course, with the help of our partners. I'm talking about WHO, UNICEF, who provide these vaccines free of charge, and they also provide technical support along the line. So this has really helped us in our fight against polio. As we know, polio is a very debilitating illness. It causes lifelong paralysis. That is why we don't want it. You can imagine a child who should have his or her future ahead of her becoming crippled just because of, you know, the parents or the caregiver didn't take out time to get the child vaccinated. So that is why at campaigns we immunize every child irrespective of previous immunization status. That means even if you have been immunized in the facilities, we'll still give you another drop. Why we are doing this is that we are immunizing all children. That is why we are going house to house to make sure no child is missed. So that is the essence. We want to make sure not even a child gets polio virus. And of course, you should also know that polio is highly contagious. So if just one child is infected with polio, it can affect, you know, a lot of children. So that is why we want to make sure every child under 5 in Anambra State is vaccinated. And again, if you notice weakness in any of the limbs, the legs or the arms in any child below 15 years, you should report. It could be polio. So that is also what we are campaigning. If you notice sudden weakness of the limbs, you should also report to the nearest health facility. So that is basically what we are doing, prevention of polio.
Prevention of polio.
Yes.
Ms. Onwebuzina, I want to ask, she's mentioned that the people that will be taking this exercise will be people who are younger than 5 years. But I want you to explain better for those who will be participating in the exercise, who is qualified to receive this vaccination that will be starting today.
Okay, thank you very much. The eligible children for this campaign that we are starting today is children 0 to 59 months. they are all eligible of this polio campaign that we are starting today. So those that are the more vulnerables, that's why we extend it to 5 years. If it is our routine, we stop at under 2.
Okay.
But for this campaign, it's for 0 to 59 months. That's 0 to 5 years of age. That's the people that are qualified for this.
Okay, so talking about where this exercise will be happening.
Okay. As my executive secretary just mentioned, our health workers will be going house to house, especially today that is Saturday. Then the eligible children that we have found in a playground, motor parks, markets. Then on Sunday tomorrow, we'll go to various churches. We know that our children now they're on vacation, some are still on, we'll still get them in schools, in the mosque, every other place where children are found. So these are the places we will get the children to vaccinate them.
Okay. Doc, during the press briefing, while you addressed the press ahead of this exercise, you mentioned that the routine immunization will also be happening within this campaign. Tell us more about this.
Yes, we want to use the opportunity of finding our children to vaccinate them against other vaccine-preventable illnesses. As you know, the routine immunization covers vaccine-preventable illnesses like the tuberculosis. For this, we give the BCG. We also have the Penta for 5 illnesses, which we give as one, vaccine. So this is against pneumonia, diphtheria, whooping cough, tetanus. So we give this as Penta. Then we also have vaccination against measles. We give this at 9 months. And of course for meningitis. So what we are saying basically is that we use the opportunity of having these children come to the facilities for the polio vaccination to give other antigens, this time according to schedule. So when we see a child who is 9 months, we use that opportunity to give the child the yellow fever and the measles vaccine. So that is what we're also doing in addition to make use of the opportunity we have.
Okay,
with the children.
For people who might have completed those normal routine, is there still need to take the vaccination?
Okay, for those who have completed their normal routine for other antigens, other vaccines, we will not bother to give them another one. The only people we are giving again is the polio vaccine, like I told you, because we don't want to miss out any child, knowing the debilitating consequences of not taking the vaccine.
Okay, I want to take you back again to what Doc mentioned earlier about noticing maybe sudden weakness in the limbs. You know that I don't want to use it in the term that it will look as if we are careless, but here in our terrain, most times when we see those kind of things, we say, or we go to the nearest chemist shop to get drugs before we now discover that the thing is very serious. Why should parents, why should caregivers, why should guardians be very sensitive when they begin to notice these kind of symptoms that might be early examples of poliovirus?
Okay, thank you very much. It's very, very key because when you listen to our jingle, you hear that when we do our jingle, we say that any child under 15 suddenly developed weakness of the limbs or arm. In our Igbo language, we say that nwa anokata under 15 years, okuyamaki anokata dauduli. Onye adulu nwa agbajebe na health center obona di anso. We have created the awareness. People is aware. Our caregivers, our parents are aware of this, of limbness of the weakness of the limbs, of the legs. They are now aware, and it's very, very key because sometimes when we have this campaign, we have a lot of some caregivers that did not comply. They doesn't comply, bringing out the children that are eligible to be vaccinated, or they are from another state that came into the state. So we keep telling them about this vaccination that is very, very important. They should not take it as a shy play. Any child that suddenly develop this weakness of the limbs of the or the two arms should report immediately to in our various health facilities. And you know, in all our wards, we have our primary healthcare centers. It's not a time that you say that this time around we don't have a facility in our wards, and you will not say that you don't have money for transportation. We try to bring all this primary health care to the doorstep of every community. So it's very, very important that any child that is suddenly developed this should be reported in our various health facilities.
Okay. Still talking about sensitization, Doc. How is the Anambra Primary Healthcare Development Agency increasing this sensitization, apart from what we're doing here, to ensure that women, especially from the rural areas, become part of this vaccination exercise?
Thank you very much. We have a very robust system of mass sensitization for our immunization campaigns. Of course, you witnessed the media chat we held, and it was followed by the State Social Mobilization Committee. In that committee, we have representatives of the religious organizations. The major ones we have, the Catholic, the Anglican, the Pentecostals. We also have other groups, the line ministries, information, women, local government, and we also have the civil society. We have the women groups. The chairperson, Asatu Women, is part of that committee, and she was at that meeting. Then we also used our announcements, the traditional town announcers. We engage them. We also have the the church announcement, very important. We do the announcement in the churches to create awareness. We also write to schools. So even we are partners with the Ministry of Education, ASUBEB, because we also write to schools so that parents will be aware, because we also go to schools to immunize, so that parents will be aware ahead of time that we are going to immunize their children. So all these networks, PTA associations, we make use of all the, the platforms we can. We also engage people with the social media. We are on Facebook. We are also on the WhatsApp groups. We share the announcements on the group to create awareness. So all these cause high. We have jingles in the radio, and this creates high awareness. So we always have a good outing whenever we are coming out, because we have fully sensitized the populace about the program.
Okay. Ms. Juju, apart from some of the acceptance, are there some other challenges the agency identified that might come up in this exercise, and how are you trying to address some of those challenges?
Apart from some people not complying, the issue we have now mainly is the insecurity.
Okay.
But we assured our team that nothing will happen. Okay. As far as we are there for the life of for the safety of our children, that nothing will harm them. Again, some people that are living in the hard-to-reach area, you can see that rainy season is coming up.
Yeah.
Very kudos. We thank our partners, the WHO. They are giving additional fund for those hard-to-reach area, so that our health workers will find the means of going to all those inside those hard settlements to see to get all those eligible children in the camp. Some use boats, some use a motorcycle to get to all those hard-to-reach areas. So these hard-to-reach areas, most of the people, like all these riverine, Anambra North, Cemeteria, Ayamelomo, Obaru, Anambra East and West, they have a very big, difficult terrain. So with this support from our partners, we'll make sure that all the children will reach all of them. No children will be missed.
Okay. Doc, you also mentioned that there is a target to reach at least 1.9 million children in this exercise. How would this number be reached, especially apart from the people in hard-to-reach areas, people in densely populated areas like Idemli North and some of those local government areas where we have you can even have children who you might not see downstairs until their size is completed. How do you hope to reach those target population?
So we have sensitized them using these channels I've already described. And like she mentioned, we have additional logistics for 2 LGAs, being Oka North and Idemili North, because of this problem. You know, when you get to Idemili North, you have communities like Mbo and Awada, Obosi. And you know, they live in the high-rise buildings. So like you said, if you come downstairs, you may miss some children up. So that is why we have extra teams to be able to make sure we scan every house and get the children immunized. So and you know, each the teams are moving with tally sheets. So we have already gone ahead and, you know, known the number of children in each settlement. So that is why they move with a micro plan. So the tally sheet, they keep tallying each child that is immunized. So at the end of the day, we collate the figure for that day. And that is how we are able to know how many children were immunized across the state. So we usually meet our target. The last round, we had 98% of coverage. So we usually meet our target because we are working with numbers and we know where the children are and we know the challenges we have in each community. So we make sure we mitigate against these issues. Like she mentioned, the hard-to-reach areas. You know, this is a farming season. There are some hard-to-reach areas in Ayamelo, Anambra East, Anambra West. They have moved to the farming camps. So sometimes to get to them, we have to use the speedboats and all that. So we have all these things ready. You know, with the logistics, additional logistics she mentioned, provided by our partners. And
talking about partners, tell us more about the relationship between the Anambra State Primary Healthcare Development Agency and some of these international organizations in this project. Okay, so our major partners in immunization are WHO and UNICEF. UNICEF provides the vaccines which we administer free. That means nobody should collect a dime for the vaccine. They are all given free. Then we also have other supports they also give us, like for UNICEF and the WHO, they also train our teams. You know, they conduct a lot of trainings. You know, a team is composed of the recorder, the vaccinator, the supervisor, and all these people have to be paid at the end of the day. So a lot of support also comes from them because they are going to pay our teams. So this is the kind of relationship we have with them, and it has always been that way. It's a very cordial relationship. Okay. Na just ka chikota pu ugbu a achọrọ m ka anyị gbata obele suzi Igbo wee dụọ ndị be anyị ọdụ n'ihe kpatara na ha ga-esonyerịrị na atụmatụ ọgwụ mgbochi a ga-atụ megide ya kpọrọ polio, that's ọrịa ntụrị ọkpa. Yes. Kedu ndụmọdụ ka anyị gwazia ndị nne na nna ndị nwe ụmụaka na ezinụlọ ha mkpa ọ dị na ha ga-esonyere na atụmatụ a? Ka anyị malite ebe n'ọdọ. Okay, biko ndị nne na nna, anyị na-ayọ unu na anyị ga-abịa na nke unu bido tata bụ Saturday the 9th April to Wednesday 13th April. Anyị ga-abịa na nke unu n'ụlọ, anyị ga-eje ụlọ n'ụlọ. Ndị teams anyị, vaccination team, ife anyị na-abịa bụ ka anyị gbaa ọgwụ mgbochi, ka anyị gbochie ọya polio nke a na-akpọ ntụrị ọkpa. Biko kpọpụta na ụmụaka unu, ọ bụgodị na ha agbabugo, kpọpụta fa. Anyị na-agba ụmụaka site na mgbe a mụrụ ha ruo arọ 5, 0 to 5 years. So anyị bịa na nke unu, biko kpọpụta na ụmụaka. Anyị achọrọ ịnụ na onwe ndị si na ha ama kpọpụta ụmụaka fa, biko. Maka ọya polio anyị na-akọ maka ya,
nke a na-akpọ vaccine derived. Ọ dịgo na some states, ọ dị na Kogi. Anyị ma na these states didebela anyị achọrọ ka ofu nwa anyị nwe polio. So anyị na-ayọ biko all the same polio anyị na-agba ka anyị na-agbakwa kịta, polio OPV, oral polio vaccine. Biko kpọpụta na ụmụaka anyị ka anyị chụọ ọya polio ntụrị ọkpa ọsọ ụkwụ eru ana. Daalụ ọnụ.
Uju, n'akụkụ nke kedu oku ị na-akpọ ndị nne na nna tata ndị ka nwa ụmụaka isonye na atụmatụ ọgwụ mgbochi a?
Ana m ayọ ndị nne na nna anyị na ndị na-elekọta ụmụazị anya ka fa biko dịka the executive secretary kwugolu ka ha kpọpụtala anyị ụmụazị niile mgbe ọbụla ịfụrụ ndị ọrụ arụ ike bịara n'ezinụlọ gị karịchasị anyị nwere njirimara anyị. Ndị ọrụ anyị niile ga-eyi white n'elu, black na anyị. Ọ bụrụ nwoke oyili trouser, ọ bụrụ nwaanyị oyili skirt. So mgbe ọbụla ịfụla ndị ha ga-ekokwa akpa ahụ anyị na-eko a na-akpọ the vaccine rush or Joe style. Ịfụrụ ana ka ha kwụrụ aka na be gị biko a sị na ama agba n'otego nwa anụnwa tụbara ọgwụ n'ọnụ ọsọ ọgwụ ka a ga na-atụ ụmụazị n'ọnụ. Ihe anụnwa dị ezigbota mkpa and ụmụ anyị bụ ka ọ wee dịlọfa na mma maka ọ bụrụ na ọ metụtazi nwa gị o metụta nwa nwanne gị. And anyị na-ayọkwu ndị nne ọgbakọ ọbụla ịfụrụ onwe gị gwa onye nna ọbụla ma ọ bụ onye nna ọbụla na ọgwụ mgbochi anụnwa dị ezigbota mkpa. And anyị na-agwakwa ndị nne ọ bụrụ na ị na-eje na health center kaba arụ ka ị were kaadị akwụkwọ ahụ eji ede ọgwụ agbara ụmụazị n'ime ya. Ọ bụ na nwatakịrị ọbụla na nke ọbụla olu ndị ọrụ arụ ike na-enye afụ na o kwesịgo ka ọgba nke dị otu anụnwa eme gị na-ene anya agba anya asịkwana na ọgwụ anụnwa na otego agbabala ọ na ọgwụ akaligo akali. Biko ka afụ na ụmụaka niile nọ na-agbata amụrụ tata wee lue na-arụ ise na fancha niile mere gịnị na-atụlụfụ ọgwụ mgbochi anụnwa maka ntụrị ọkpa na nwa ngwọrọ ada agbakwa n'ọsọ, nwa ngwọrọ ada eme ife ibi ya na-eme. Ka anyị nye ụmụ anyị ohere dị otu anụnwa na n'efu ka a na-atụ ọgwụ anụnwa. Ọgwụ anụnwa dị very very safe, ọ dị effective, ọ dị emela ụmụazị arụ. Daalụ.
Ọ dị effective n'efu ka a na-atụ ya nke abụrụ ka esi enwekwanụ m ego kpata m ga-akwụ ka wee tụọ nwa m ya bụ ihe dịka dọkịta si gwa anyị n'ụtụtụ a nakwa Uju onwe egbuzina ndị Anambra State Government na World Health Organization agbago mbọ for that na onye ọbụla ruru ogo nwatakịrị ọbụla dị otu ọnwa ma ọ bụ ruo ọnwa 59 ga-esonyerịrị n'atụmatụ a. Ihe ọ dịziri gị bụ idupụta nwa gị ọ bụgoro ihe bụ na ọ gbaa n'afọ gara aga dutekwa ya ọzọ ka ọ gbaa ọzọ maka na ife a na-agba mbọ ihe a bụ ka agba mbọ fụ na ọrịa batara chacha. Mana ekwugo na Nigeria enweozi ọrịa ntụrị ọkpa mana ọ bụ na agbachi nkịtị ọ bụ na ya agbachi nkịtị efu na ọ ga-esikwa nwayọọ wee bata ọ nwere ihe anyị mee ọnya ka eji na-agba mbọ ka a malitekwa ịtụ ọgwụ mgbochi a. Ekwela ka ọ bụrụ nwa gị ka a ga-eji maatụ onye ọ metụta ka ọ ghara ịbụ nwa gị ka ọ ghara ekwuo ịbụ nwa agbata obi gị. Ya bụ ebe ọbụla ị nọ ịfụta ebe ụmụntakịrị nọ dụọ nne na nna ha ọdụ ka edutu ụmụ ha ka ha sonye na ọgwụ mgbochi a ga-amalite taa bụ Satọde wee ruo ụbọchị Wednesday April 13 ka a ga-agba ya n'akụkụ Anambra niile. Ọ bụkwa na ị na-anya ịkaba efụfa iduru nwa gị jebe na health post dị nso na primary health care anyị dịgasị iche iche dịgasị n'akụkụ Anambra iduru ha ijesi ya na ife ụgbọekwa ndị a na-agba ọgwụ mgbochi na ịchọ ka atụa nwa gị. Ọ bụrụ na ụnụ ka ị nọ ha wee bịa gbaa mbọ fụ na nwa gị pụta wee sonye na ya bụ ịtụ ọgwụ mgbochi. Anyị jikwa ohere akpọ ndị isi ụka ndị ụkọchukwu ndị na-akụziri ụmụaka n'ụlọ ụka dị iche iche bikonu ka anyị gbaa mbọ fụ na adọnye ya na ntị ndị nne na nna. Ọ bụrụ na a na-akụziri ụmụaka ihe ndị a bịa enyetụ ha obere oge atụa ndị a ga-atụ wee nwee ike ịhụ na o rutere onye ọbụla. Ebe a ka anyị ga-achịkọta ihe nkara ụka anyị n'ụtụtụ a na mmemme The Weekend Show na ABS. Ana m ekene dọkịta Chioma Ezenyimuru bụ onye isi ụlọọrụ na onye isi odeakwụkwọ nke ụlọọrụ Anambra State Primary Health Care Development Agency. Daalụ maka isonyere anyị n'ụtụtụ. onye ọzọ anyị na-anọ bụkwa Mrs. Uju Onwebuzina bụ onye na-ahụ maka nkụzi n'ụlọ ọrụ Anambra State Primary Healthcare Development Agency. Daalụ maka isonyere na ụtụtụ.
Daalụ David.
Anyị ga-edoziri unu ugbu a wee gaa na ebe anyị na-ewetara unu nta akụkọ n'ụtụtụ a wee gosi unu nke na-eme n'obodo. Sonyere na anyị.